But for the Celtics, a big part of their success, home or on the road, obviously comes down to Jason Tatum. He has had, I think, a much better season than he's going to be given credit for. And the thing about Jason Tatum, it seems like damn near every week, every month, he is either being the youngest Celtic to do this, or he's cracking the top 5 or top 10 in this category, franchise records. He was recently asked about just, who he thinks was the greatest Celtic of all time. And he said Larry Bird. And it caught some people by surprise. What do you think about that? I mean, when you think about like the all-time greatest Celtic, is Larry Bird on your like Mount Rushmore of candidates for that?
Yeah, he is. And I also think it's about your generation also. Mm-hmm. I mean, you would think, okay, well, is it Bill Russell? That's an obvious choice. The greatest Celtic of all time, the most winningest Celtic of all time is Bill Russell. But is 27, 26, about to be 27-year-old Jason Tatum, how much real video has he seen of Bill Russell? It's very much easier to go watch the 84 finals than it is the 68 finals, right? Or the 69 finals, or to watch a full game. You can, there's documentaries, the Lakers. I mean, and Jason, I would consider himself, he's a historian, he's a big Kobe guy. So I think he's watched the Lakers-Celtic rivalry. So that, they got that 30 for 30. And I think he's looked at how Bird won, obviously, 3 consecutive MVPs. So it's not a bad choice. You cannot blame Jason for that. If he, there's other guys he could have chosen, and you could have said, wow, you're showing your age there. You're showing you're a little too young. He could have said Kevin Garnett, which is not a terrible choice. If you're a young person and that's who you grew up watching. And for Jason, born in 1998, he doesn't remember, he was not born when he won the 3 titles. He does not remember a lot of things. He has to be reminded or watch it on video. So I applaud for him to have such an admiration for Larry Bird. I think he looks at Bird as like, that was the MF. And obviously Bird set so many records. He had the record before Tatum broke it as the most points averaged in a season. He's the all-time Celtic leader in triple doubles. Like, this man, Larry Bird, was a MF. Like, he was a dude, and people may have forgotten about that, and may have forgotten about how filthy he was in terms of just his overall he invented kind of the volleyball pass, and just his basketball IQ, his ability to post up, his ability to hit jumpers. And we're talking about, Sherrod, as you know, because you grew up at the same time, before the three-point shot was even really a factor, before it was even really a weapon in the league. You put Larry Bird now, Larry Bird scoring 30,000 plus points, and remember, his back limited him. He only played, I want to say 13. He played like 13 years, and he was done after that. I mean,
if you're like me, life gets busy, but eating well shouldn't have to be so complicated. That's why I love Factor. These chef-made meals are dietitian approved, and they make it so easy to stay on track no matter what's on my schedule. They arrive fresh, they're never frozen, and they are fully prepared. Just heat, eat, and enjoy in 2 minutes. And the taste? Honestly, I was blown away. The flavors are amazing, and with 40 meal options across 8 dietary preferences, there's always something new to try. My go-to is the Protein Plus meals, but if you're into keto, calorie smart, or vegan, Factor's got you covered. And if you're looking to lose weight, a clinical trial found that keto Factor meals can help you shed up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks. They even have smoothies, breakfasts, and snacks to keep you fueled all day long. So if you're ready to eat smart and save time, get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. So if you're ready to eat smart and save time, get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Just go to factormeals.com/boomertakes50off and use the code BOOMERTAKES50off. Trust me, this is one decision you won't regret taking from a boomer.
Download the app and play $5 to get $50 instantly. Prize Picks. Run your game.
You look at it, he was done by 35, 36 because his back just wasn't able to play, and he played for Team USA, and he called it quits. But I applaud Jason for having those goals, for saying, hey, I want to be obviously him and Jalen are both getting their numbers raised. If they both retired tomorrow, they're both getting their numbers retired. We both know that. But to say I want to be one of the all-time greats, I want to be what people mention, me along with Cowens and JoJo White and Bob Cousy and Bill Russell and Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale, and along with Bird, and then Pierce and Garnett and Allen, if you want to throw Ray Allen, and just all the greats, and Tom Heinsohn and Sat. It's a great, obviously, tradition. He wants to be part of that, and I think that that's an awesome thing for him to say. I was there when he said it, and he's just like, I want to be considered. I want to be remembered as one of those guys, and it's cool to think that a lot of these guys only think about today and tomorrow. But for a man who's his age, 26, to think about his legacy, that's not common for guys. How you want to be remembered? What are you talking about? Remember? Well, I'm 25. So I'm living for what? Remember for what?
Like, I want to be remembered for getting the pepper wings. That's what I want to be remembered for. No one would get the best from the pepper wings.
Ask me about that when I'm 40. Well, I think guys are very thoughtful for him to come up and say that, because I appreciate it. I applaud his admiration. He got a chance to meet Larry Bird at the All-Star game last year, and I thought that was a cool moment. He was like a kid. Like when he saw Larry Bird, he was like, "Oh, he looked for somebody from NBA video or NBA photographer from the league on the court at the All-Star before the game. Was like, you get a picture of us." Like he was like, and for a guy who retired 6 years before you were born, right? That says a lot, because a lot of I don't know, you old, you played back in the Converse, and you played the shorty shorts. I don't respect for you. You're like, there's too many folks who are disrespecting the old game and the legends of our game, unfortunately. And for Jason to take advantage of that moment, you got to give him props.
Yeah, and I the thing that I love about Larry Bird, and when you talk to people who played with him, you talk to people who played against him, practiced against him, his trash talking was Hall of Fame worthy. He used to get mad when teams would put like a white dude on him. Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting this dude on me? And the fact that he would call shots, there was so much about Larry Bird that went to me above and beyond what you saw on the floor in terms of shot making. I mean, he was one of to me, the thing about Larry Bird that never, I think, gets enough credit is how well-rounded his game was. You like to focus on the shot making, but his ability to pass, his ability to rebound, low key, he was a better defender than I think he was ever given credit for. The completeness of his game, to me, is what made him such an amazing talent. And I probably would go with Bill Russell for the greatest Celtic of all time. But if you go with Larry Bird, you can't be mad about that.
No.
At all.
No, as I said, it all depends in what you value. If you value winning, leadership, breaking barriers, all of the above, Bill Russell unquestionably. But if someone said, my greatest Celtic of all time is Bob Cousy, you couldn't laugh in their face about that. It might not be the popular answer, but there's been so many great Celtic. If you said Dave Cowens, if that's what you grew up on, if you said JoJo White, or you said Havlicek, who nobody talks about this, the all-time Celtic leader in scoring. His record is what Jason is chasing, right? I mean, 28,000 points for Havlicek, and how many three-pointers did he hit? None. The three-point shot was not ruled, was not allowed, was not a shot. There was no three-point line. He retired in 78. 79 and 80 was the first year of the three-point shot. So you got to give much respect to a guy like Havlicek. And so, to me, if you said he was the greatest Celtic of all time, you can't get laughed out of the room. So I respect Jason and us. For us who grew up to watch Larry Bird and what he was able to do, you have a great appreciation for Larry Bird and his prime. In those 80s, early to mid 80s, man, oh man, he was a handful.
He was cold. Facts.
NBA History Channel is brought to you by Prize Picks.